Jiggy cat on a damn feeling spree. This is Nagato, and you can't mimic my energy. 100 rounds drawn and me hanging like a centipede.
Hello everyone, this is Nagato's Adventure. Hope you guys are having an awesome day for today. In today's video / showcase, I'm going to be showing you guys on how to enable cheats and adrenaline for your favorite PlayStation 1 / PSP titles on your modded PlayStation Vita or your modded PSTV. With that being stated out the way, before I get started with the prerequisites, I do recommend, if you guys don't know how to set up adrenaline and you already don't have adrenaline previously installed before this video, is to go ahead and check out my adrenaline guide on how to add PSP titles to your modded Vita or PSTV. So if you guys want to add cheats, I do recommend watching this video first. If you don't already know how to install adrenaline, go ahead and watch that video, and then you could come back to this video as showcased here, so you'll be on the same page and you will have a better understanding on what to do for this process. But with that fun stuff getting stated out the way as well, I do recommend that you guys could go ahead and follow my social medias so you'll never forget the latest hacking guides and tutorials I drop on my channel. My goal is to try to drop a video every single day, so the best way on how to know that is to of course be subscribed to my channel and also hitting that notification button, but also by subscribing to my Twitter. That's where I usually update my fan base on when I drop my latest content. As well, if you do want to support me and want to join my official community, I made a Discord not too long ago. You can join via in the link in the description below, or as showcased via right now on the screen. Not only you can meet new people from the hacking and modding community, you can also of course get the latest hacking guides and tutorials for your favorite console. And as well, if you need any support in terms of setting anything up, whether it be for the Vita, PSP, PS4, PS3, or you just have general questions, or you just want to get in contact with me, the best way on how to do that is just to join my Discord. And if you guys do want to support my channel and help me out as my YouTube grows, you can feel free to donate via my PayPal. I will have that in the link in the description below. Any money that I may receive will help me buy things such as a better camera, a better microphone, software editing tools, even a console, so I can showcase and provide the best content for you guys to watch on my channel. With all that fun stuff getting out the way, we could get started on today's prerequisites. And of course, any of the items I state will be in the download description below, of course, just like any of my other videos. So first things first, you need either a modded PlayStation Vita or PSTV via using the Henkaku, H-Encore, or the Trinity hack. As well, your system needs to be either between firmware 3.60 to 3.70 firmware. As well, you need the latest version of VitaShell. You'll also need a zip file I will have in the download description below called CWCheat.zip, and this contains basically all the cheat databases for any PSP title, or I shouldn't say any, but for a good amount of PSP titles, and as well for PlayStation 1 titles as well. You need any PSP / PS1 game that supports cheats. So I know a lot of PSP games that does, and as well as PS1, but not every single title for those respective consoles may not support cheats, but I'll get into more of that later on in the video. As well, you need the latest version of adrenaline, of course, and you also need a USB cable or FileZilla FTP client to transfer your files over for this process. So assuming that you got all those steps, and that's why I did recommend on already having a game and adrenaline set up for this as well, to go ahead and watch my older video about on how to how to set up adrenaline and also how to install PSP games. I just want to give a special thanks out to the official Flow, of course, for making VitaShell and also adrenaline, so credits goes out to him. And don't forget guys, you could go ahead and join my Discord if you need any help. But with all that fun stuff getting stated out the way, we could go ahead and get started on the PC side of things. Alrighty guys, so assuming that you did follow all the prerequisites as stated in the intro, we could go ahead and get started on today's side of things on the Vita first. So what we need to do is go ahead and scroll into VitaShell, assuming that you may have Henkaku Enzo, or if you're using the new Trinity exploit on 3.71 or 3.72 and you're going to be using H-Encore 2, go ahead and run your exploit first, of course, so we could run homebrew. But what we need to do now is go into VitaShell and then just open it up just like any normal program. And then once VitaShell is shown on our screen, we're going to go ahead and FTP if you want to follow along. If you want to be using the USB cable method on how to transfer your files for today's video, you can also do that. But what I'm going to do here is go ahead and hit start on my Vita, scroll all the way down. If you're going to be transferring via with USB, go ahead and just plug in your cable to your PC, to your Vita, and then all you would need to do is just make sure you have this toggled on. And if you're going to be transferring files via over your internet connection like I am, all you got to do is hit left and right on your D-pad and make sure it's toggled to FTP. Once you have that, go ahead and press circle, and then what you want to do now is hit select on your Vita, and now you just see your FTP server broadcast in the air, so your PC could, you know, check that your Vita is online, so we're ready to transfer our files. So all I'm going to do is go ahead and transfer to the PC and then get started on the PC side of things. Alright guys, so as showcased here, I'm basically back on my PC. We already did this step on our Vita to get our systems broadcasted in the air using our FTP server on VitaShell. What we need to do first is just open up FileZilla FTP client. If you've been watching my tutorials before, FileZilla FTP client is nothing new. It's just a program to allow us to transfer files via over any internet connection through FTP. But what we're going to do now is go ahead and connect our Vitas to FileZilla FTP client. If you don't know how to install FileZilla FTP client, it's just like a normal exe on your computer. I will have that in the link in the description below. But what we need to do now is go ahead into FileZilla FTP client, and then we're just going to go ahead and type in our Vita's IP, the one that was showcased on the screen in VitaShell. So that's what I'm doing here. Of course, your IP will be different than mine, but for the port, it will be 1337. And all you would have to do is hit quick connect. And then if you get this little insecure FTP connection error, all you have to do is just hit allow always, or always allow, and then hit OK. And then you should see all your directories on your Vita. What we're going to do right now is just minimize out of FileZilla FTP client, and I'm just going to be speaking a little bit about the CWCheat file that you're going to be getting from my description and on YouTube. So this is the cheat database that is going to allow us to basically enable cheats for our favorite PlayStation Portable titles, as well as certain PlayStation 1 titles on Adrenaline. So what we need to do first is go into CWCheat. We need to go into SCE plugins, and then I'm just going to show you guys where basically CWCheat is located and for the database. So I believe cheat.database, this is for the PSP, and cheat4.database, I included both since I don't know many people if they wanted to take a cheat out. One is for the PlayStation Portable, which is this one, and one is for the PlayStation 1. Expecting that y'all guys may want to do both systems for PS1 titles and PSP. That's why I kept both of the database files in here. But if you want to go ahead and delete either one, depending if you just want to do this for PS1 titles, then you could delete one of the database files right here. But these two database files includes all of the games that is supported via with this cheat method, and this is the most up to date, and it's from 2018. So they have a ton of PlayStation Portable games. I think from what I've seen in a list, there's over 1800 titles for this cheat database, and it's also supported with the PSP as well, so that's pretty cool. But what we need to do once you verify that your files are on this location, which it should be, since I will have it all zipped up into one thing, so you don't have to worry about placing files into a certain location, since I already did that step for you. What we need to do is go into SCE plugins, go back into CWCheat, or excuse me, yeah, we need to go to SCE and plugins, and then go into game.txt. And now this game.txt is we basically need to enable this as the cheat is on. If it states that it's 0, that means the cheat will not be enabled for your certain games, so we need to put a 1 right here. Now once you did that, all we need to do is hit file save. And then once we have that step, we could go ahead and close out of the game.txt, and we could verify on the side of my screen here that you can see that my plugins are now turned on for CWCheat.prx. And or if you want to check this way, all you would have to do is just go to the game.txt and see that we changed it right here. But now once we got that set up as well, we're going to go back in the FileZilla FTP client and we're going to get this transferred over. But one thing I do want to state first, if you have any other plugins that are you supported in Adrenaline, or if you know that you have any other plugins, we're going to basically not rewrite them, but we're going to also include our old plugins as well if you have any. And I'll show you right now what I mean by that. So what we're going to do is go into UX0, scroll all the way down to PSP emu, go into SE plugins and go to game.txt. As you see here, I already have some PRXs and I also have some patches I have in my plugins. So let's say if you have the same thing as me, what we're going to do is go to our game.txt, go into the old one that we got if you already have one, or if you haven't used any plugins, you probably won't have the game.txt. But if you already had previous plugins installed, what we're going to do is take the old game.txt, and as you see here, I had one for Hatsune Miku, one of the Project Divas for the PSP, and I want to still keep my old PRX activated on this, so I won't lose any of my older plugins and have to basically start it up. So what we're going to do is go into our CWCheat folder, go into SE plugins, go to game.txt, open that up, and any old plugins you may have written down on this game.txt file, we're just going to go ahead and copy it over. So all we have to do is just scroll with our mouse, right click, go into copy, exit out, go to game.txt, make a line for your another cheat, or basically your another PRX, and now any of your old plugins will still be activated as well. That's one thing I did want to mention before we get started on the actual cheat side of things, because if you have any other plugins, like I have one for Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, which enables me to play with both dual analog joystick, or basically the dual analog sticks on the Vita. As you guys know, basically the PSP never had analog sticks, so it makes the game easier to play. But once we have the new game.txt, I'm just going to verify that it's in my SE plugins right here. Yep, so it showcases here. What we're going to do is take this file and we're going to transfer it over to our PC, or to our Vita. So that's what we're doing now. We're going to go into FileZilla FTP client, and now what we're going to do is go ahead and take our SE plugins folder, or go back out, go into CWCheat, take my SE plugins folder right here, and let me just copy it over. I'm gonna put it side by side so it's more easier for y'all guys to see. And now it's gonna ask you if you want to overwrite this, the game.txt. Since we updated it, just go ahead and say okay. And now, as showcased here, you can see that it's copying over the cheat database files, also the PRX, and it's also copying some the .ini files. So just let it do its thing over FileZilla FTP client. Of course, if you're doing this via with the USB method, all you'd have to do is just go ahead and connect your Vita as normal, press select, and it will automatically connect that way. But and then just follow the same directory as I'm going in. But if you're doing FileZilla FTP client, that's what I'm going to be doing here and transferring over to the Vita as of right now. Alright guys, so we're back onto the PlayStation Vita as showcased here, and all we need to do now is go ahead and hit circle to cancel out our FTP server. So that's what I'm doing right now. Now what we need to do is go ahead and back out of VitaShell, and then we're just going to back out like normal. And now what we need to do is just run Adrenaline just like any normal program as a homebrew. I'm assuming that you already have Adrenaline installed. If you don't know how to set up Adrenaline, I showcased in the card earlier in the intro on how to basically set up Adrenaline in that video. But if you still want the download link to Adrenaline and you could install it yourself, I will have that in the link in the description below. But once you have Adrenaline on your Vita, all you would have to do is just boot into it as normal, go into Adrenaline, and then just wait for it to do its thing. So I'm just waiting for Adrenaline to pop up on the screen right here. And then as you probably heard, you heard the initial PlayStation Portable boot up. What we need to do now is hold select on our Vita, and now we need to basically boot up Adrenaline via H menu. And what we need to do now is go to our recovery menu. So that's what I'm doing here. And then right on the screen we go in the, or basically we need to figure out our plugins. So we need to scroll all the way down using D-pad, go ahead and hit X. And now, as you see here, you need all of our stuff enabled. So as you've seen, CWCheat.prx is currently enabled. I also have my Diva patch PRX, and that was for another video and game. But make sure if you have any plugins enabled that you want for this process, go ahead and have it on. And we also need a CWCheat props.prx enabled. So once you have your C.Cheat PRX and also the third one right here, we could go ahead and back out of Adrenaline recovery manager and then exit. And then basically what's going to happen, we're going to go back onto our PlayStation Portable's main menu, or X and B. So that's what I'm waiting for it to boot up. And now what we're going to do is go to our memory stick. I'm just waiting for it to do its thing right here, or basically load up my games. So it may take a little while for it to showcase on the screen right here. Alrighty guys, for some odd reason my PlayStation Vita just shut down, and for some reason it wasn't loading up the memory stick at that moment, but nevertheless I got it fixed. So what we need to do now, just select your game of your choice. In this case I'm just going to be showcasing Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, and now all you have to do is just load the game as normal, or whatever game you're playing. I'm just going to be using Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep since I already checked out the cheats already worked, and it's one of my favorite games of all time for the PSP. So I'm just waiting for it to do its thing. I'm also going to turn down the volume in the background for Kingdom Hearts since I don't want to get copyright flagged. But as showcased here, I'm running Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. I already have a save file already ready to go. I do recommend that if you're doing this for a new game, go ahead and play it a little bit. Make sure you already have a save file already into the base of the game, because if you try to do it on certain games, I know it gets kind of wonky. So as showcased here, I'm in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, and now as you can see, if I go ahead and back out, I'm level 1. I'm basically a noob at this game, and as you can see, the time that I've been playing was only for 5 minutes. The way on how to activate cheats for your PlayStation Vita or your PSP at this point, all you would have to do is hold down the select button. So just hold it down, and as showcased on the screen, you're going to get this menu that pops up, and it's basically, if you did everything right if you see this menu. So what we need to do is go ahead and select cheats for your game. So if your game doesn't show up anything in terms of the select cheats, basically your game is not supported. But if you get this main menu, great, you're already good to go. So we're going to go ahead and enable and disable some cheats. So all we have to do is hit X. And now as showcased here are all of the cheats that I can do for Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, which is a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and do some noticeable cheats. I'm going to make my movement in the game 10 times or 5 times faster. I'm going to enable some of these things. So if I hit somebody one time or something like that, I should get level 99. I'm going to go and turn some things on, like quick ability level up, all of that stuff. Super fast level, I'm going to do that as well. I'm just going to go to enable some cheats real quick, so it's like you could tell that I'm using some cheats for this game. So I'm just going to go to max hits. Also, I think if you're a fan of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, you can also change some of the outfits that the main characters are wearing. So let me go ahead and try to find that. I think, yeah, you could basically change some stuff from Ventus. So I'm gonna change his armor. I'm just trying to see some other cheats that I can showcase for this gameplay. So okay, this is pretty much good enough for today. All you would have to do is to enable cheats. All you would have to do is back out by hitting circle, and now hit yes right here to enable all cheats. So once you got all of your cheats selected that you want to do for your gameplay, all you got to do is hit circle, back out once, make sure that the first option where it says enable cheats is on, and then we can return to game. So right now, as you can see, I'm running way faster than the game is programmed to do. And now if I go ahead and run out, you can see that I have this custom outfit for our Ventus right here. So I'm going to try to fight some enemies to showcase here, and right now I just leveled up a ton just from doing that, and just from hitting one enemy normally in the game, it wouldn't level you up that fast. Let's see, I think if I hold square and circle, it gives me like super jump. as showcased here. But yeah, that's how you can enable cheats for some of your favorite PSP titles. If you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like and comment down below. And if you guys have any questions or need any support in terms of how to set this up, you can feel free to DM me via my Discord. But my name's Nagato, and I'm signing out. Hope you guys have a great day.